Fuck you talking about pay $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any of the other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than...
Terence Crawford is done playing nice with the boxing establishment, and he's making sure everyone hears it. He has openly blasted the WBC for stripping Shakur Stevenson of his world title just days after a career-defining win. All because Shakur refused to pay a staggering $100,000 ransom. He's exposed the greed, the politics, and the hypocrisy of the organization for the world to see. This isn't just a dispute over sanctioning fees. It's a declaration of war. And Crawford is proving that the Alphabet Boys have finally messed with the wrong team.
Hey y'all, what's up, boss fans? They didn't strip Shakur Stevenson. The WBC, boy, they ain't playing. They low down, boy. They didn't strip Shakur Stevenson of the 135-pound WBC title, y'all. Said due to, the fact of, homicide Hank Henry Armstrong, after he held belts at, I think, featherweight, 147 and middleweight, they made it a rule that a champion can't hold a belt simultaneously. If I was gonna say something about, I ain't saying that just to say it, but I didn't know if they could do that with a single belt or if it was just if they were undisputed. But apparently, the WBC, being low down, being petty, want to follow the rules and say, you can't simultaneously hold two belts or however many belts in different.
To understand the severity of this disrespect, we have to look at the timeline. Shakur Stevenson just moved up to 140 pounds to take on Teofimo Lopez. This was a legacy fight. It was the moment Shakur transitioned from a defensive wizard to a legitimate superstar. He walked into that ring, executed a perfect game plan, and left with the WBO belt. The celebrations were barely over. The team hadn't even left the hotel lobby before the WBC decided to drop the hammer. Usually when a champion wins a belt in a new weight class, they are given a grace period. They get a few weeks, sometimes even a month, to decide which weight class they want to campaign in. They have to decide whether to vacate the old belt or drop the new one. It is standard procedure, but for Shakur, there was no grace period. The WBC immediately declared the lightweight world title vacant. They claimed it was consistent with their rules and regulations, but to anyone paying attention, the timing felt incredibly aggressive. It felt like they had the press release written before the first bell even rang.
In the light of champion Stevenson now being the reigning WBO super lightweight world champion and consistent with the WBC rules and regulation, the WBC has declared vacant its lightweight world title. The WBC wishes champion Stevenson continued success in all his future endeavors, both inside and outside the ring. Now, here's the thing for me. Yes, I'm sure that it is in the ring. I mean, it is in the rules that that you cannot hold a championship between the WBC and another sanctioning body in two different weight classes. You can't do it. Also, you really can't hold belts in two different weight classes at the same time. That said, I still think that the WBC's move and not allowing Shakur Stevenson to make the decision as to what he's going to do is a little bit of a spit in the face, and it is not the first spit in the face that camp has had from the WBC recently. Because if you recall, Terence "Bud" Crawford was the WBC champion after he beat Canelo Alvarez for the WBC belt, and they got into a scrum about the sanctioning fees. And right there, they said, "Nope, if you say you're not paying these fees, we're taking your belt." And they stripped Terence Crawford for not.
This is where things get ugly. Shakur Stevenson didn't just lose a belt. He exposed a financial demand that looks a lot like a shakedown. The WBC reportedly demanded a staggering $100,000 sanctioning fee from Shakur. Here is the kicker. The WBC belt wasn't even on the line for the Teofimo Lopez fight. They wanted six figures from his purse for a fight they had absolutely nothing to do with. Shakur, who has never been one to bite his tongue, took to social media to blast the organization. He called them crooks and made it clear that he wasn't going to play their game. In a viral post, he stated, "What the hell am I giving y'all 100,000 right now for? The WBC didn't even have set T to do with this fight." It's a valid question. In what other business can you demand a cut of the profits when you provided zero services?
Right here, this is the WBC championship. They could have given people an opportunity to hold that belt. For example, they could have had an opportunity for him to hold that belt and given him an opportunity to say what he was going to do, as far as staying at 140 or 135. That said, Shakur Stevenson has been saying that he wanted to move back down to 135 after he won the 140-pound title. He said he was planning on staying, made public statements that he was going to be staying at the weight class. But it is what it is now that he's been stripped. So, the options just got a lot more thin from Shakur. So he's going to have to hold on to that WBO belt at 140 pounds and start doing work with guys in the 140-pound,
The emotional weight of his response is what really rallied the fans to his side. He mentioned his daughter, Lalani, saying he would rather give that money to his baby girl than hand it over to a suit in Mexico City. It was a defiant stance that highlighted just how ridiculous the sanctioning fee model has become in modern boxing. If you think this is just about Shakur Stevenson, you aren't looking closely enough. Shakur believes and has explicitly stated that he is merely collateral damage in a much bigger war. He claims the WBC is punishing him because of his close relationship with Terence Crawford. Shakur posted, "Y'all got beef with Bud, so come at me for it." This is a massive accusation. He is suggesting that a global sanctioning body is operating based on personal grudges rather than sporting merit. And when you look at the recent history, it is hard to argue against him. Crawford and Shakur are tight. They are like brothers. They train together. They support each other. And apparently they get punished together. The WBC seems to be sending a message to the entire Crawford stable. If you defy us, we will erase you from our history books.
Shakur Stevenson made it abundantly clear that he's a 135-pounder. He's going up in weight just for situational fights. He just defeated two-division world champion, former unified lightweight, and now former WBO junior welterweight superstar Teofimo Lopez in dominating fashion. He's now 22 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 13 wins by way of knockout. After a beautiful performance, a dominating performance, the WBC, in a rush to do nothing, can't give this dude a week to make a decision on what he wants to do next. This dude, Shakur, has told the world, I'm a 135-pounder. I plan on competing at 135 unless there's a situation that presents itself. You got Lamont Roach, who you elevated to the number 2 fighter in the WBC at 135. Right? Shakur says yesterday, I'm willing to fight Lamont Roach. We're going to make it happen. Right? Not once did Shakur say that he's staying at 140 pounds.
To fully understand why the WBC is so angry, we have to rewind to December 2025. This was the moment that changed everything. Terence Crawford did the unthinkable and defeated Canelo Alvarez. It was the biggest money fight of the decade. Naturally, the WBC wanted their cut. They wanted the sanctioning fees for the super middleweight title. Crawford, sitting on the biggest payday of his life, looked at the fees, which would have been in the millions, and said, no, he refused to pay. He realized that at this stage in his career, the man makes the belt. The belt doesn't make the man. The WBC responded by stripping him of his undisputed status just days before he announced his retirement. It was a petty move designed to tarnish his exit, but it backfired. It only made Crawford look like a rebel hero who stood up to the system. Now it seems they are taking out that lingering frustration on the next man up, Shakur Stevenson.